Hi guys, you're here because you want to get into medicine or are interested in medicine in Australia. This is part 2 of a series on how to get into medicine in Australia based on my experiences. If you missed part 1, then have a look up here in this link here. You'll find part 1 which talks about all the resources and the research you should be doing when getting into medicine. If you're not here for part 1, if you're here for part 2, then welcome from Ed to Med. Step 2. You need to get ready for the exams. Now if you're in year 12, which is our final year of high school in Australia, then you need to sit the UMAT exam, the undergraduate exam. The UMAT is in the end of July each year, only once a year, and you need to have registered for it by the end of May. Now the dates change each year, so please check the UMAT website. The UMAT is in 3 sections and it's marked out of 300 possible points. A good mark is considered to be around about 180 to 200, so it's a very challenging test. Now, the 3 sections of the UMAT, it's based on your reasoning, given a passage or a table, graph to do that, multiple choice is the first section. The second section is based on your ability to understand people and people's reactions. Again, they give you a passage, you write down what you think the person is trying to say or what their reaction is or what their mood is. The third part of it is logical reasoning. So they'll give you a series of patterns to solve. What pattern, what do you expect to come next, which one, that sort of thing. So that's the UMAT. Now the UMAT's going to cost you probably around $200, $250. I'm not really sure at that. It does change each year, so again, check the UMAT website. Big thing to know though is if you're planning to go to medicine or undergrad medicine straight out of high school, then you actually need to sit the UMAT while you're still in year 12. So that means sitting it in the middle of your year 12, which will mean you're going to have exams at the same time. So it's going to be pretty stressful, but just make sure you're registered, just make sure you get there for it. Now, the GAMSAT. The GAMSAT is the postgraduate medical exam. So for those people who have actually graduated from their first bachelor's degree or are in the process of doing their first bachelor's degree and will, by the time they apply for medicine, have graduated. So a lot of people in their first years of their bachelor's degree, if they're doing their biomed straight from the get-go, they like doing it in their first year, their second year, their third year, to try it a couple of times and see which marks they can get, see what good marks they can get. So it's something that a lot of people sit more than once. It's a hard exam and it will cost you around about, well, when I did it, $470. So it's not a cheap exam. It's something you actually want to put a bit of time into. Now, there's a lot of people who say you shouldn't study for it, you can't study for it. I don't agree. As a non-science background student going into it, if I hadn't have studied my butt off for the chemistry, the bio, the physics parts of it, then I wouldn't have done well in it at all. Yes, it's true that it tests your reasoning, but it's also true that the quicker, the more familiar you are with the concepts, the quicker you'll be able to read through the questions. And in both the UMAT and the GAMSAT tests, time is a massive factor. It may seem like a long time, 5 hours is a long time for the GAMSAT, and 3 hours is a long time for the UMAT exam, but the amount of questions in there, you've basically got a minute and 20 seconds for each of the science questions, you've got a minute for each of the non-science questions, and you have to write 2 essays in an hour. So you press for time. My best advice for the UMAT, for the GAMSAT, and it's in 3 sections, I should have said. First section is reasoning in the humanities, second is the essay section, and third is the reasoning in the sciences. My best advice for it is to actually do the exam before. Now, there's a lot of resources out there to help you, there's a lot of companies out there to help you. Some of them are less reputable than others, so don't get sucked into that. Ask other people what they think. Again, paging doctor, check it out, see what people recommend. But my best advice is to go do the GAMSAT, do a couple of trial runs before. When I was preparing for it, I had a study group put together, and that was immeasurably helpful. We would sit the exam every weekend for about 8 weeks leading up to it. So sit sample exams and do it timed, because the time pressure and how to actually do those questions, that's what really got me. So I sat it twice. I got a 65 the first time and I got a 68 the second time, which I was quite pleased with. It's a good result, a decent result. But really, what is a good result? A good result depends on your GPA, on your ATAR, as well as your GAMSAT. So you can't definitively say that by getting a 70 GAMSAT you're going to get into an interview. You can't say that. So in general though, if for UMAT you're looking for 180 or higher as a recommended level. In the GAMSAT, it depends if you're a rural student or a non-rural student. If you come from a rural area, the GAMSAT cutoff is usually a bit lower, and so if you're aiming for high 50s, then that's good. In the GAMSAT, if you're a non-rural, if you come from a city area, then you're aiming for high 60s. So that's your general cutoffs for that. If you can get, obviously, the higher you can get, the better your chances are of getting an interview that year. The calculation of GAMSAT scores, if you want to look at how that compares with your GPA, then there's a formula you can use. Now, a formula, I'll put it in the thing below as well, is your GPA divided by 7 plus your GAMSAT divided by 100, and you should be aiming for around 1.62, 1.63 in general, and that's generally considered a good score. But to summarise, get ready for the exams, study for them. If you're a non-science background student like me, then you need to study. You need to study your biology to first year uni level, you need to study your physics to year 12 level, and you need to study your chemistry to first year university level, because all of those concepts are tested in the GAMSAT. Yes, it is reasoning, yes, it is multiple choice, however, it's something that I think will make it a lot easier if you knew what the general concepts were coming in. In addition to your GAMSAT score and your UMAT score, you're also going to need to have a look at your GPA or your ATAR score. Now, for those outside Australia, an ATAR score is a general high school score that most states use to judge their school leavers. Queensland's still in the OP system as I say this, however in 2 years' time that OP system's going away and everyone's going to be on the ATAR. Now, the ATAR score that most undergraduate universities look for is above 95. So the higher you can get, the better, but if you can get above 95, then that's generally the minimum cutoff. It doesn't mean that you will get in with 95, but it's generally the minimum cutoff that they just say we won't even look at your application. If you're looking for a good GPA, the requirements of GPAs have been increasing a lot over the last couple of years. And again, check out Ellipsoid for those exact figures. But I would say that in general, if you're looking for a GPA, you're looking for a GPA between 6.3 and 7. Now, unlike the States, where they have a different GPA system, our system in Australia goes up until 1 to 7, 7 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. So 6.3 to 7 is the GPA range that you should be looking for. Again, if you're coming from overseas, there are equivalency things and how to change that around. Look at the GEMSAS guide, which I talked about previously, and that should give you equivalencies. So guys, that was step 2 on how to get into medicine in Australia. If you're interested in going on to the next step, which is to get results and apply for your course, then you should follow the link up here. So follow this link now and you'll get to step 3, get results and apply for your course. So if you're not interested in that, thanks for watching so far. Please drive a like, comment and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next From Ed to Med video.